Hey there, my name is Fresonis and welcome back to Ark Survival Evolved with more Extinction reveals. In this Extinction reveal we're gonna check out the Cryopods and the CryoFridge. And if you haven't checked the previous video with the reveals of the taxidermy and also of the Frost Titan gameplay, go check them out. They are under the information button and in the description. You should really check them out because it is really awesome to see what is going on over there. But yeah, in this video, everything you need to know about the cryopods. You can see here the player is holding the cryopod in its hand and in a moment he will throw it away and then it is just like Pokemon, a creature will come out and it is a giant Rex. And the Rex is sleeping. What is going on over here? And it also says cryo sickness. Well, before I can explain the cryo sickness, you need to know a little bit more about the cryopod and the cryofridge. The cryopod, you can store your dinos in it, so it works a little bit like Pokemon. I think everyone knows Pokemon. If not, you walk up to your dinosaur, your creature, you use the cryopod on it, and the creature will get trapped inside of the cryopod. From the moment the creature is trapped inside of a cryopod, it will go into stasis mode. And what does this mean? This means that the creature no longer has hunger. It doesn't need any food. So this is an awesome way to store your creatures, and especially if you have the cryofridge, it is even better because the cryopods can expire, and once they expire you will lose your creature. The creature trapped inside of it and it expires, it is gone. The creature will be gone. It will not be on a map anymore. It will not be in-game anymore. It will be completely destroyed. It will be gone. So you need to keep an eye on that and don't let them expire because otherwise you will lose your creatures. But back to the cryo sickness. If you drop a cryopod with a creature in it, the creature will come out and it will be awake. At least if it is the first one and in the previous 5 minutes you haven't dropped one before. Because if you drop a cryopod with a creature, you will get a debuff. And this debuff will cause cryo sickness to the dinos being summoned. And what does this sickness do? Well, let's hear what they have to say about it.
But as you can see with the Rex over here, whenever they are spawned out, whenever they do come out, if you had a saddle on them when you cryoed them, they'll keep that saddle on them. It'll be the same saddle. They'll pop out with the saddle ready to go. There is one thing with the cryo sickness. If they have a saddle on and they're in cryo sickness, they're actually going to take more damage. So using these to throw out a bunch of just tanks to sit in front of turrets to soak up bullets isn't going to be an option. They're going to go away pretty quick.
So they did this to balance the game a little bit, and especially for PvP, otherwise it would be way too crazy to see someone walking around with a bunch of cryopods and just drop them and have a battle ready to go. It would be nice, but it would also be really bad. So that's why they have balanced it like this. But of course you can prepare yourself for war and for example take the slow creatures with you in a cryopod, go to the battle zone and drop them. And just wait until the cryo sickness is over or wait until they wake up and then you're ready to battle. But yeah, when they are in that state, the state of the cryo sickness, they'll take increased damage, so you need to keep an eye out on that, on how you're gonna do that. But I think this will change the battleground also a little bit for PvP. And for PvE it is also useful, of course. You can take, for example, your slow tanky creature to a different place and just go travel on, for example, a fast raptor. And then when you're at a place, trap the raptor in a cryopod and throw out the slower tankier creature and go into battle with that, or go do whatever you want. So this is a nice feature, and of course I'm wondering, can we reuse those cryopods and how does it work with fridge? Well, let's see what they have to say about this.
They are reusable, as you just saw. I used the same one twice. And then you have your cryo station where you actually put your cryopods in. As long as it's powered, they will stay good to go infinitely. They're good to go forever for the rest of the time as long as they're in this structure. As far as on your inventory, they do have a decay timer. It's going to be a lot longer than it is now. We have testing values in now just so that it's easier to test the decay to make sure that it's all working properly and it doesn't happen when it shouldn't happen, or cases where it shouldn't happen. But they will be transferable. They'll essentially be like an item, but they'll count as a dino as far as other things. So they will be an item. So there'll be a lot of new things that this opens up.
They also mentioned that if you put these cryopods in a normal fridge, the decay timer will be reduced by half. So you can always use that as well, but they will still getting decayed. If you put them in a cryofridge, they will not decay, they will even regenerate their cryopod time. Here we have a small clip of it. So he dropped the cryopod in it and it is now on 42 minutes. Then it starts 42 minutes and 6 seconds. 42 minutes and 11 seconds. Then he goes out, and after when he comes back it will be up even higher. So I think this is really a nice way to recharge your cryopods. And here you can see it is now 42 minutes and 18 seconds. And of course they want us to use these cryopods so the server lag is less big than it is now. Especially with those big bases with a lot of big structures, with a lot of pieces in it and a lot of creatures in it. Well, those really cause for severe lag and really weigh heavily on the server performance. And now you might think, well, how do we get those cryopods and those cryofridges? Well, it is not actually that hard because they are just engrams. We don't need to unlock them like other tech gear. No, no, no. It will not be that hard, not be that difficult. We don't need to kill bosses to do that or anything like that. They don't want that. They want us all to use these cryopods to reduce the server lag. So that's why they made it into normal engrams. And let's see how expensive they are.
So the cost to build it was very, very, very much talked about. But I think you guys will be very happy with what we've come up with. They're pretty cheap. We want people to use them. We want people to be able to use them. CryoFridge is much more realistic prices, but the CryoPod, we want people to use them. We want them to be available to everyone. We want to assist with helping with our overpopulation of our servers as much as possible and bring the game back to a good playable state to where the dinos that you don't need, you can keep them. You're not getting rid of them, you're just storing them.
Sadly enough, they don't show us how expensive the cryofridge is, but I think it will be, for example, twice as expensive than a normal fridge or something like that. And in case you wonder, can we also cryopod the wild creatures? Well, let's find out, shall we? And nope, it doesn't work. So you cannot surprise your teammates or enemy tribes with wild creatures inside of it. It would be awesome, but it would be also really bad for the gameplay. So no, you cannot trap any wild creatures. And in case you wonder, yes, you can trap water creatures as well. And you probably also wonder what happens on the buffs or debuffs on creatures, what happens with breeding, with imprinting and all the kind of things. Well, this is what they have to say about that.
So cooldowns will not go down. So if you are actually breeding a dino and you are imprinting on it, you can cryo them and freeze their imprint.
That's something that's going to help out a lot for people trying
so you
to
can freeze the imprint and store it away while you sleep. Whatever it is, you go on vacation, and then you come out, you come back to the game, you can uncryo them and continue your imprinting.
So I think this is really nice, and especially on the official servers, because my god, those breeding times are really insanely long, and sometimes people will do that only in a weekend, or they will only do it when teammates can come in and all that kind of things. Well, now you can do it for yourself as well, and yeah, when you need to go, just cryo them and put them in the fridge, and you can continue on later. So that is really a nice feature. And if you wonder, can I now bring, for example, a T-Rex in a cave where I normally cannot do that? Well, no, you cannot do that. It will not be activated. So if you bring a cryopod with you and you want to throw it down, it will not work if the creature doesn't fit and doesn't suit in that area. So for example, you cannot bring flies to a cave that doesn't allow flies in it and all that kind of things. So you can only bring the creatures in it that are allowed in that cave in that area. And let's see if we can cryo the creatures that are being ridden by teammates. Let's check it out. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. And since the cryopod is an item and you can transfer it to other servers and the kind of things, you can also trade with it, you can give it to other people. And how does it work with ownership? Well, in the past they have said that with the cryopod, if you put a creature in it and you trade it, for example, to someone else, then the person that drops it will be the owner of that creature. But during this stream they said that they didn't actually know what is going to happen if you drop down a cryopod of an enemy. Will that creature be yours? Will the creature be still of the enemy? Will it attack you or not? So they were not clear about this, and yeah, now we need to wait until it is in the game and we test it out for ourselves. What would you like to happen if you drop down someone else's cryopod? Do you want the creature to be yours, or do you want the creature to be with the owner and it will not be tradable or not stealable at all? Well, that wraps it up for this video. I think you now know everything that you need to know about the cryopod. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment below and I can test things out as soon as Extinction is going to be released. So that's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, leave any thoughts about this video or whatever in the comment below. And as always, if you haven't already and want to see more in the future, then smash that subscribe button like a maniac. And I will see you all in the next video or stream. Bye bye, lovely people!